Monty Austinford and the Arizona Cardinals are trying to complete the infinity gauntlet of all things Ohio State. The Arizona Cardinals ended up drafting two guys in the fourth round and the fifth round. We're going to be diving into those players right now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On this channel, we're covering the Arizona Cardinals news, breaking news, conversational pieces, everything surrounding your favorite team. So subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. But ladies and gentlemen, today the Arizona Cardinals are finishing off the final day of the 2025 NFL Draft. Cardinals among every other team in the NFL. But today, the Cardinals actually did something pretty interesting, right? We were a situation where the Cardinals were, or they had a fourth round, a fifth rounder, and then we had a seventh rounder. But what the Cardinals ended up doing was using their fifth rounder to go back into the draft and trading up with the Dallas Cowboys to recoup a sixth round pick. So right now, we are going to be talking about the fourth round pick and the fifth round pick, but the Cardinals now have a sixth rounder. So we have a sixth rounder, which we just got in a trade with Dallas, and the seventh rounder that we already had. So let's talk about the first guy the Arizona Cardinals ended up going after, and that's going to be none other than linebacker Cody Simon. Now, a lot of people ask me, because I was live during the morning portion of day 3 of the NFL draft, and people ask me, where do I want to go, right? And the big positions for me right now were, or at least before we made this pick, was linebacker, wide receiver, and trenches on the offensive side of the ball, right? Either center, guard, or offensive tackle. That's where I wanted the Cardinals to go. But they ended up going after a linebacker here and plays middle linebacker for Ohio State and is a champion, national champion for with the Ohio State Buckeyes. So honestly, at the end of the day, I'm not mad at this pick. I'm really not, right? So the Cardinals ended up using the fourth round on Cody Simon. Now I did see a couple different clips and highlights of him here and there. Overall, I think what I can say from him, I think this is a pretty solid pick. Now, a lot of people kind of get it twisted where they always want to find some sort of reasoning as to why the Cardinals go a specific position or if he's going to automatically be a starter. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to take the job of Akeem Davis Gaither. I think that's going to be his job to lose as of right now. But this is a solid pick. Now we did mention this in the intro. I do really believe that the Cardinals are trying to do something here with completing every single stone with getting every single player with Ohio State. I don't know what it is. I mean, they really like that school, obviously, right? They like a lot of talent that comes out of the school. But continue to talk about Cody Simon. He's 6'2", 235. He's got a really good size frame for the position that he plays. And like I said before, we did take a look at his pros and cons, and I took a look at a little bit of like a highlight reel. He's got a really, really good anticipation with like shooting the gap. He's really good at the run, or at least stopping the run. Like he's got a really good grade here from PFF. He's got a 90.6 grade for PFF. So I have seen it on tape as well, or at least his highlight reel where he just follows the line or the running back, or even a quarterback. You can use him as a quarterback spy, right? Something like that, where the Cardinals could potentially have a really good asset in the middle of the field. And Cody Simon is now a member of the Arizona Cardinals. He's got an overall grade of 87.7, a pass rushing grade of 80.6, but obviously he's not here to rush the passer, right? He's going to be here to obviously coverage skills, shoot the gap for any run play. And of course, the Cardinals were a very bad team in stopping the run, especially with teams like, let's say, for example, the Seattle Seahawks, where they had Kenneth Walker out in the game, and we thought everything was going to be good, but Zach Charbonnet absolutely torches us, right? So maybe this is going to be a guy that they really see as a potential future, right? But right now, I do see him more as a depth player more than anything. These are going to be the pros and cons here for PFF, right? Feels good for run defense. I think he's definitely has a really good side-to-side motion. He's definitely really good in shooting the gap, stopping the run, and as you can tell here, sound between his gaps, traditional between the linebacking core, and that's just the body. He fits exactly what a middle linebacker should be in terms of his frame and his body just in general. He does got some cons on here as well. And now I have read this on PFF as well as the NFL.com. They really seem to harp on how short his arms are. And then on top of that, lower weight profile does show up when trying to disguise or disengage in blocks. So, there is some things obviously he needs to work on. But like when you're getting to this point of the draft, the fourth round, fifth round, or just day three picks in general, you're bringing in guys to hopefully develop into becoming starters, right? Very rarely do you get a gem in the fourth round. Now, this can very well be a gem for the Arizona Cardinals, and we are in some sort of need of a middle linebacker, especially because obviously Kazir White's not most likely going to be a Cardinal anymore. Or, I mean, there's some people keeping the door open for Kazir White potentially to come back because he's still a free agent. But, the Cardinals adding Cody Simon absolutely makes sense. This is somewhat of a need for the Arizona Cardinals, and I back it, man. Honestly, I've seen some good things. I've seen some good traits here from Cody Simon. And of course, another Ohio State guy. The Arizona Cardinals love to bring in Ohio State guys. So at the end of the day, I'm not mad at it. Let's see what the Arizona Cardinals decide to do with his talents here on the defensive side of the ball. But let's move on over to the next guy. Now, we did mention this a little earlier. The Arizona Cardinals did make a trade out of their earlier fifth round pick, and they decided to trade back. So they traded back with the Dallas Cowboys, but they recouped a sixth round pick. The Arizona Cardinals didn't have a sixth round pick at all. So now the Cardinals have a sixth round pick and a seventh round pick. So we got two more picks to obviously talk about a little later on today. But the Cardinals used their fifth round pick on cornerback Denzel Burke out of, guess where? Ohio State. So Ohio State, another Ohio State guy. He's 6'1", 193. When I look at his PFF grades, nothing kind of really sticks out in terms of, oh, this is a fantastic pick, right? But obviously the Cardinals are looking to add some more depth within this group. But I honestly feel like this is probably one of the best, where I guess adding Will Johnson to the mix doesn't mean that they shouldn't go corner, but I'm just so curious. That's going to be something I'm really going to be looking into the 2025 season, is how they're going to be able to maneuver with this cornerback core right now, because obviously Will Johnson being added, you got Max Melton last year in a second round pick. You also got Elijah Jones that used a third round pick last year out of Boston College. Garrett Williams is taking the next step. And then you got Sterling Thomas the fifth, Sean Murphy Bunting, the veteran, on here. So you got a good grip of really good potential pieces on this cornerback core. And that's not even to mention Keitrell Clark that we had in a few years back, where we see him a little bit more in special teams, but the Cardinals really do like him. So, there's just a lot of depth within this core right now. And now adding Denzel Burke to the mix, another cornerback from Ohio State. And I think just whenever there's a doubt or who the Cardinals are going to pick, just always keep in mind that it's probably going to be an Ohio State guy, right? Just moving forward. But his stats for the 2024 season, like I said, nothing really kind of screams out as to like, oh, this is going to be the gem of the draft. But you never know, man. You never know. Sometimes when you just get that opportunity, you might be a lot better in the NFL level compared to the collegiate level. So you never know at the end of the day. But he does have 2 touchdowns under his belt. He's got 2 INTs. I'm only assuming those were pick sixes, which actually would be pretty cool on its own. So this is going to be what his stats look like here for Denzel Burke. He does play on the outside more than he does in the inside, which is obviously something great to see. Now, this is going to be his pros and cons here per PFF. Natural, smooth mover, good eyes in zone, good feel for spacing to bait throws / warrant no throws. So definitely has got a good feel of obviously being very instinctual, right? At the end of the day, really good, smooth, mover, right? When you're taking the step backs, which is definitely very good. He does got some cons under his belt as well. And it says feet can be tick slow to mirror out of press. Top speed is average at best. Can get grabby against faster wide receivers, which definitely not ideal, right? And I took a look at his draft profile here from NFLnetwork.com. He does run a 4.48 in the 40-yard dash, and he had a 1.5 second 10-yard split, right? So like he doesn't have a lot of I'm not gonna say like I don't know. Like this is it's not that I'm confused with the pick. Obviously, I would take anybody who's gonna make a defensive team a lot better. I'm just the position, right? I feel like the Cardinals could have very well benefit from going like wide receiver, or heck, anybody on the offensive side of the ball, anybody, right? Because we're already talking about 5 picks into the draft, and every single one of those guys are defensive guys, right? So I mean, his hometown is Arizona, so maybe that was something that was benefiting Denzel Burke for coming here. Hometown is Arizona. played for Ohio State, checks every single box, at least in my personal opinion, right? For what Monty Ford likes to do. But at the end of the day, I mean, only thing I can say is, maybe when he's given his opportunity, he's really going to take a shine into being hopefully that player we all kind of want/need him to be. But like I said, always, like I always say, like by the time you get to like the fifth round, sixth round, seventh round, sometimes you really got to shine. And I mean, really got to shine to make even the 53-man roster. So, room is crowded as is, which is the cornerback, room right now. I'm excited to see what the Cardinals are going to do with the Denzel Burke. Sees a couple things here and there. I saw a little bit of the highlight reel, but I'm a little bit more obviously impressed with Cody Simon because I feel like that's more of a need than cornerback, especially because you went Will Johnson in the second round of this year's. But like I said, you can never add too many good players, right? That's definitely something that Monty Ford has always said. You can never add too many good players, and anybody that can make this defense better, at the end of the day, I'm game for. So let's go ahead and find out what your guys' thoughts overall so far on our fourth round and fifth round pick. One of them being Cody Simons out of Ohio State. The other one being Denzel Burke, cornerback out of Ohio State. And what are the Cardinals going to do next? Are they going to get Will Howard, quarterback out of Ohio State? I don't know. Who knows what the Cardinals are going to do here, but they love Ohio State players. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments below, what are your overall thoughts on these two players? Put it in the comments below. Appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cardinals.